Now watching Sporting Icons on YouTube. Subscribe.
Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, Sky Sports, and of course DAZN have announced another fight card, as if we haven't got enough between now and the end of the year. But this one will be on a Thursday night, December the 19th at the York Hall. Now, for me, I'm emotionally invested in this card because there's quite a few fighters that I've had on the channel. I've spoken to them. Not all of them have been on the channel, of course, but I have spoke to quite a few of these guys. So I am emotionally invested in this particular card. So I like this card, I really do. And we're going to start off with the headliner, Richard Riakporhe, taking on Jack Massey, and this will be for the vacant British Cruiserweight title. Of course, recently vacated by Lawrence Okolie after he defeated Ngabu to become the European Cruiserweight champion. Now, Richard Riakporhe 10-0, Jack Massey 16-0. So for a lot of people who know who these guys are, you probably agree with me that it's pretty much a 50-50 fight. For me, I'm probably just going to edge it with Richard Riakporhe based on the level of opposition that Richard Riakporhe has, of course, faced over Jack Massey. Now, Jack Massey, don't get me wrong, he hasn't been going out there fighting gatekeepers and whatever. Not at all. He's fought some pretty decent opponents, but I think Richard Riakporhe has fought the better opponents. And, of course, he shares the gym with Dillian Whyte. He's trained by Mark Tibbs. He's also managed by Dillian Whyte and that as well. So, Richard Riakporhe, he's been around some tough guys. And Mark Tibbs, he puts these guys through the paces. He really does. Now, I like Richard Riakporhe. In fact, he's supposed to come on the channel quite a few times. We can never quite arrange an exact time when I'm free and he's free, but I will keep trying, okay? So, now Jack Massey, 16-0. Again, not to be underestimated. Out of these 16 victories, he has stopped half of them. Okay, so 8 of them. So, he's going to carry some pretty decent power, but he's got a very, very good engine on him. Richard Riakporhe, he's got a pretty decent engine on him as well, but Richard Riakporhe, he likes the knockout, and he carries some serious power. So for me, I like this, and as I said, not everybody likes NEXGEN shows. For me, I have no issue with NEXGEN shows, as long as we're getting the quality cast. I'm talking like the Dillian Whytes, the Joshuas, etc., mixed in as well. Because I was a little bit, or at least questioning why there's so many NEXGEN shows and not enough of the other ones. But with all the recent fight cards and that coming out by Sky Sports, because of course I have Sky Sports, so now I'm cool. So for me, I like this fight card, and very, very good headliner. I like this one quite a lot. And my boy, the Black Panther, Luther Clay, fresh after a victory over on the last Matchroom show in Italy, where he dominated his opponent and showed so much heart, so much skill and brutality in that fight as well against Dario Morello, where Dario Morello, I think a lot of people may have been picking him to win that fight because he was 15-0. But I knew going into this fight that Luther Clay, he fought, again, the better opposition. So for me, I was picking Luther Clay to win, and of course I was hoping that he was going to win as well. Now, I knew that he was going to be taking on Freddie Kiwitt, or at least fighting on this card. I knew about 3-4 weeks ago. I was told, not by Luther Clay, but I knew that he was going to be on this NEXGEN show. So, Freddie Kiwitt, he's a German nationality guy, but he does reside here in the UK. And he was born in, some part of, is it Liberia or something? Anyway, Freddie Kiwitt is a pretty decent fighter, 17 wins and 10 of those by knockout. So he's quite heavy-handed. So Luther Clay is going to have to be careful about trading with him. But Luther Clay, of course, he likes to drop his opponents and he likes to go for the knockout and that in himself. But Kiwitt, he does have 2 defeats, but his last defeat came back in September of 2017. So he's gone over 2 years now since that defeat, but he hasn't been stopped. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if Luther Clay can stop him. But he doesn't need to. All you need to do is put on a good performance and get the win at all costs. So for me, big up Luther Clay. I hope he gets the job done. Also, a guy who's been on the channel also, along with Luther Clay, is heavyweight Fabio Wardley, again, managed by Dillian Whyte, comes from Ipswich. Now, Fabio Wardley is a real nice guy. Very, very serious when it comes to boxing. He takes his boxing life very, very serious. Now, he's going to be taking on Salman Vanilli. Now, Salman Vanilli is so far a career cruiserweight, but his last couple of fights he has fought at heavyweight. Salman Vanilli, at times, in my opinion, has let himself down with his actions in the ring. Okay, for me, Salman Vanilli is so much better than what he shows sometimes. But either way, now, I was there when Andrew, he interviewed Salman Vallily, Andrew from IFL TV. And I was stood behind Andrew when he was interviewing Vanilli, and I heard Vanilli mention Fabio Wardley. Now, I was going to interview Salman Vallily myself, but he looked like he was in a bad mood. I thought, you know what? No, I ain't going to bother with you then if that's going to be like your attitude. So either way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him. I'm saying at that particular moment, he looked like he was in a pretty bad mood, so I decided to ignore him. But Fabio Wardley, 8-0. This is a pretty decent step up for him. Salman Vallily, he hasn't had that many more fights, really. Well, I say not many more, he's had about 10 fights more. But Salman Vallily has a pretty good background as an amateur. So this is a pretty decent step up for Fabio Wardley. But one that I believe Fabio Wardley could just pull it off. But Salman Vallily, he's calling out Fabio Wardley. So he's seen something in Wardley that is giving him confidence that he may get the win. So for me, I'm expecting a pretty big slobber knocker of a war between these two guys. Also on the card, Charles Frankham, 2-0, is a lightweight fighter. Very, very good fighter. I hope that he can go on and achieve great things in the sport of boxing. So it'd be good to see Charles Frankham out as well. Shannon Courtney. Hi, I'm Shannon Courtney. Whatever. 4-0. Of course, she's on the card as well. And Kieron Conway from Northampton. Again, you guys would have seen that I interviewed him last time he was here in Newcastle. Real nice guy. Bags of skill. Really, really bags of skill. And I was surprised how tall he was as well. Very, very tall. And he's saying that he doesn't struggle to make the weight too much. But when you look at Kieron Conway, you think, surely you must. But he's that much of a gym rat. Can we call him like a gym rat where he's always in shape? Always in shape. Very, very ambitious guy. He wants to put Northampton on the map. So big up to Kieron Conway. There's no opponent yet for him, but it'd be good to see him out and about. Of course, he put on a very good performance against Ted Cheeseman. And of course, last time out here in Newcastle. Also on the card, to sum it all up, is Ivan Hopey Price, making his second professional fight, super bantamweight. I forget who it is that he's trained by. I think it's Dave Caldwell, but I could be wrong on that one. Don't hold me. But either way, 1-0, he'll be making his second professional fight. So that sums up this card for December the 19th at the Your Call, which is a Thursday night. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.